So obviously I'm not Iggy Fanlow or David Glickman as advertising for a living, but I can, and Megan Prentiss, lively, and I can tell you that I work literally, oh, sorry. I can tell you that I work literally next to them on a daily basis as we really study the new science of social gerontology, and we're really looking at measures that can have a positive effect to improving our healthy well-being. So really what I'm going to be talking to you about today is a social imperative. I mean, really what we see is driving some increased focus, attention, a new movement that we're pretty optimistic about that focuses on, another issue that's so important to our increased longevity, and that is the social side of aging. So the good news is that we're living longer, healthier lives. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing that that among our population, I mean, in the next 20 years, we're going to increase I think it's 1 in 10 U.S. Americans are over the age of 65, and in 20 short years, that's going to change to 1 in 4. Now, of course, we're living healthier and healthier and better lives. Our older condition, there are certainly health consequences with that. 80% of persons over the age of 65 do suffer a critical medical condition. Among older adult population, which is about 13% in our country, actually they do represent 38% of acute care hospitalizations. But the very, very simple truth is that we are living longer. And aging itself is no longer a medical condition to be treated. So I think that's pretty exciting. The challenge is that we have a population, 30% of older adults aged 65 and above, about 20 million older adults in this country who are living on their own. And the fact of the matter is that, as helpful as communal assisted, communal living can be for this population, sometimes that's not a practical reality. So we truly do have an older adult population that is at grave risk for social isolation. And so really, we're really advocating for a focus on strong support systems that balance that independence. I mean, the fact of the matter is, as we all know, older adults want to stay in their home. And we've seen the published research that indicates that that's an important factor for life satisfaction and quality of life. Esteemed founding director of the Stanford Center on Longevity, Laura Carstensen, says the vast majority of older people want to live out their lives in their own homes. And there's very good reason to believe that it's good for self-esteem, health, and life satisfaction. Quite simply, 80% of older adults will live independently for life. So, really, I think the troubling statistic is that published research is telling us that social isolation is a great risk to premature death. It's also linked, social isolation is also linked to critical medical conditions, decreased mobility, depressive symptoms. So it is certainly a real problem. And there's kind of, as much as, it's so exciting to be here at Age Tech West. We're all about technology, but as excited as we are about the promise of technological innovation, the fact of the matter is that our society and this technology is actually compromising some of our connectedness. So we have, kind of two sides of a coin. We have social isolation and social connectedness, one with great risk and one with great opportunity, but really it's a symptom of our busy life that we're actually experiencing more connection strain. So, some of the statistics about our connection problem among older adults, right? The digital divide is real. 65% of American adults don't use the internet email. We talked about Facebook, how we all take for Facebook its improvement in social connectedness, but 80% of internet users age 76 and older don't use networking sites. A symptom also of our modern lives is that we're not living at home. We're just not down the street from our elders anymore. Some interesting statistics. You got to hand it to the people in the Midwest who are staying put a lot closer to their families, but 70% of residents here in the West have moved away from their hometown. So we're unfortunately just long distance caregiving, and our geographically dispersed families are real. We've all heard about the sandwich generation. We're living that life every day, right? You have your busy career, you have the family that you're trying to take care of, and of course you want to do right by your elders. And 50% of all U.S. adults expect to care for an aging relative. So our concern at Lively is really about the social side of aging. Rich communal ties have been shown to greatly improve our longevity, our healthy well-being. In fact, there was a Boston College survey that just recently came out that showed that intergenerational connections, just the connection between grandparents and their grandchildren, that connection alone showed positive benefits to both populations, mental health and well-being. So, of course, this is a technology presentation, so I have to show you a little bit of technology. And here I'm talking to you about, in our technological era, how we haven't quite been able to solve for that. Well, those are the issues that we're thinking about every day at Lively. So hopefully my video will play.
When I look at almost every product in the marketplace, it deals with chronic illness, it deals with pain, it deals with how, the physical nature of getting out of bed, of being better. No one deals with the why. Why am I getting out of bed? What is my purpose? What is my meaning? And as I did the research, it became clear that that's the bigger problem, and everyone's ignoring it. The why is really what matters to people.
What we're trying to do with Lively is create an activity sharing platform. And it's the ability for that person living alone to share some activity, some daily patterns about their life, so that it reduces the angst and concern that their adult children have. At the core, what we tried to create was a consumer device. And what we mean by that is one that doesn't have video cameras, is not too invasive, doesn't feel like an alarm system, but truly passive and soft touch in nature. And so in this case, you literally put the sensors on objects in the home, not on people. So you are looking at things around daily activity in the kitchen, daily activity around taking my medications, and daily activity around, am I just getting out of the house? Am I active? In addition, there's Livelygram, and Livelygram is a really, really simple way for people to share photos and life updates with the person living independently. Every 2 weeks they get in the mail what we call, it's a little photo booklet, and it's a series of photos and updates from those that they care about, and it all happens automatically for them, and it just shows up in the mail.
When we first describe the Lively system to people, what we commonly get is, aren't these two products? But to us, it's a conversation. And the first part, the hardware and sensors, is the conversation of the sharing of health-related activities from the older adult to their loved ones, to their children. And then Livelygram is the reverse. It's the sharing of photos, messages, daily activities, but in a hard copy form, back to the senior.
So the little sensors report into the hub. The hub has a cell connection back up to our cloud servers, and we do data analysis on our cloud servers to look at patterns, to look in breaks from patterns and such. And then we display all that either on the web or through a phone app. And what we're trying to do is display that in a very, very easily digestible, quick way. So you can glance at the dash, see everything's okay, and be happy. Or for the occasional time where maybe there's something where you should investigate, you get an email notification, you get a call, whatever it is you decide that you want, you can get notified by. The intention is to take essentially what's cutting-edge hardware. We're using the latest protocols, really low energy. We're taking these little tiny off-the-shelf batteries to last years because of the protocol that we're using. And we hide all that with this really simple dashboard.
We really feel like this is more than just a gadget. It's really about a movement to help families and multi-generational families stay more connected. And it's why we decided to do a crowdfunding experience, because we want to include those families in this journey that we're on.
We thought we had a really cool product, and we thought we had demand. We'd read the research, we talked to 100 people. We went down to Florida We talked to 300 more people, and we were blown away by the response. We don't think we have a product. We now know we have a product. And we want you to join us and help us make this a huge success.
So as a technology company, we really had to think about things differently. We didn't want to apply technology to be overly intrusive. I mean, we've seen monitoring, we've seen Granny Cam and other very intrusive technologies. And how could we keep families and older adults connected, but with just the right application of technology? We also have to concern ourselves with cost, right? We really need to bend that cost curve to make products like this more accessible to the mainstream consumer. Clunky devices, oh my gosh, I've been to a couple of AARP conferences and interacted with a lot of you in this industry, and everybody kind of rolls their eyes with the 3 Bs, right? Big, bold, and beige. How can we do something that really is surprising and delighting an older adult consumer? And then, we can't tolerate complex setup. And those are really hard problems for technology companies to solve. I think that what we're doing is inventive in that regard, but I think that this is definitely the course of change that we're seeing industry-wide, and that's very exciting. I'll just, explain, for Lively, we really wanted to account for that two-way connection, right? Being able to share a little bit, just a little bit of information with your family about how you're taking care, little markers that actually, 6 sensors actually give you a pretty rich profile of how you're getting out and about in your day. But at the same time, if, hey, my older father is cut off of Facebook, and we're all, that's really an important platform for our social connectedness. How do we loop him in? And that's the intent with LivelyGram, closing that activity sharing loop. Lively is $149. That's the price point of our product. That includes 2 free months, and then the service is $19.95 a month, and that includes the LivelyGram that's mailed twice monthly. Design, we're in Silicon Valley, but at the end of the day, we recognize that good design and good customer experience should be pervasive, and radical simplicity. You saw David unpeeling the little adhesive sticker off the back. So, in closing, we're really optimistic about developments being made to bring older adults closer to their families, really to care for the social side of aging, and we're just quite simply honored to be part of this movement. Thank you.